Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Tayler Yarish Show. We are here. We are live, baby. Tennessee kid coming at ya. We're coming at you live from Chattanooga, Tennessee right now. Been down here for a couple days, doing a few comedies, if you will. Yeah, dude, it's been fun. We just got back. It's 4:00, and I just had breakfast, so I've been burning the candle like I do a little bit when I'm quote unquote on the road doing stuff. But it's been a ton of fun, man. It's been a fucking journey since last week. Monday's when I left, so Monday when the last episode came out, that's when I would have. Yeah, next day I was going to Nashville, dude. I love Nashville. It's so great. I can't believe I haven't been there before. And I was only there for 2 days, staying with a buddy of mine. A lot of fun. They got that main strip on Broadway. I know that's probably their fucking Times Square or whatever. And I'm just walking around all wide-eyed oh, the music, I'm probably everyone's what a dork. I'm the dork because I don't have those fucking boots. Dude, there's so many stores that were selling boots and not boots with laces, you know what I mean? Those fucking hardcore boots that are just, they're such a commitment. That's the only thing that takes me back, that pulls me back from buying something like that, is that they're not, you put on those boots, you're not just wearing boots, you know what I mean? The boots are an outfit. That's a whole identity right there, and it really doesn't go with other stuff. If you're wearing those boots, the rest of your shit better match the boots aesthetically, not just colors, but just who the fuck you are. You know what I mean? Nobody's wearing those cowboy boots with a Calvin Klein t-shirt. You know what I mean? And that's why I can't get those, because the rest of my wardrobe just doesn't reflect. You know what I mean? You're wearing horse riding boots. I think that's what they are. But you can't wear that with a polo. Even though the logo for polo is a dude riding a horse. Even though that's the logo, you can't, they don't work together. You just have to be wearing animals. You know what I mean? If you're wearing those boots, the rest of that animal that made the boots, you better be wearing up top. I feel those are kind of the rules. And I was getting scoped pretty hard. I was getting judged when I walked in these places. They could tell. I wasn't about that life, There's just rows and rows of all different types of boots. And yeah, it was it was a lot. But cool fucking designs too. Really cool. I almost wanted them just to put in the corner of my house, on a shelf or some shit. It's a work of art, you put a boot, that's the today's version of the Christmas Story, lamp with the fishnets and shit. That's how I would have it in my house. I would just have a boot chilling, sitting up there. But yeah, didn't get any. But yeah, the fucking bar. I'm a sucker for just live music and just a good time, And that's what it is. I don't care if that's a tourist trap, that street. It's still a good time. Times Square, if you break it down, it's not a good time. There's nothing going on. You know what I mean? The Times Square version of what was happening in Nashville is the fucking Mickey Mouse who tries to get you to take a picture of him and then tip you. These people, every bar that's right next to each other, the windows are open and there's a different band in each bar and they're all playing music and they're just doing it for the love of the game. Yeah, you should tip them and shoot them a Venmo, but they're just playing to play. And hopefully, some fucking studio exec walks by and is I gotta have that sound on the radio. You know what I mean? They're all hoping for that moment. And yeah, they're up there, they're playing, and they're rocking the boots. I can't rock the boots, but they're rocking the boots. You know what I mean? Because they're playing country music. They're sitting on the stool. They got the fucking field jacket, tan field jacket thing. They're a rustic man or whatever. They got the whole look. And I wish I like could be one of those dudes when I was down here. I did when I was in Nashville. I got a pair of overalls, and boy, was the feedback split. Oh my God. I put it up on my story, like a poll, yes or no, on the, lot more no's than I thought I would get, which means there's probably more no's of people that saw it but just didn't take a vote, But I feel like anything that gets kind of a mixed reaction, like halfway down the middle, is kind of the right way to go. You know what I mean? But I like them. They're a little bit like long, and they're definitely a relaxed fit. Like they're definitely the baggiest piece of clothing that I now own. But I like them. They're comfortable. The only thing the main feedback I got is that you got to get them dirty. But I don't know how I'm gonna do that. And part of me doesn't want to There's something cringe to me about purposely getting clothes dirty so it looks cooler, But I do admit there was everyone, a few people were like, dude, the overalls are a little gay. They're a little gay. And I'm like, well, what's gay about them? They're like, they're too clean. Like the buckles are too shiny. You know what I mean? Like you wear Carhartt overalls that shiny. Nobody believes that you're working on a farm or something. I'm like, I live in fucking Brooklyn. Nobody's going to believe I work on a farm anyway. I'm very open about how I'm not handy at all. I can't even hang a picture on my wall without tearing out the drywall. It's a known fact. I don't think anyone's going to see me in overalls and be like, oh, did you just get off the farm or some shit? Like, that's not going to happen. I just like them because I think they look cool. They're comfortable. They got a lot of pockets. I'm a big pocket guy. Big pocket, big bag guy, I don't know. And I also just don't own anything like that. It's a very unique piece of clothing, and I think they'll last a very long time. And I wanted to get them to remember my first time in Nashville. So fuck off, everyone who voted no. How about that? Huh? Food was okay. The barbecue, my buddy really wanted me to go to this barbecue place with him, and it was good. Not the best I've ever had in the world, for sure, but still good, I feel like the barbecue we had in Charleston was a lot better. I'm just going to say it. It just was. And I think I may be biased because of the way that I had it. Because in Charleston I had it was just the meat and sides, There was there was a roll or whatever, but it was on the side. When I was in Nashville, I got the fucking pulled pork sandwich or whatever, but I got it on the bread. And I feel like, I don't know, I kind of don't like if it's going to be really good barbecue, I kind of don't want it on a sandwich. I just want the meat. I need to taste it. I need to taste the pure fucking elements, I want to get the smokiness. I don't want to be hoodwinked by a bunch of bread. And that's what happens. Because then you're judging it based off, it's is the barbecue really good, but the bread is too dry or just bready, you know what I mean? It's not buttery enough. There's a lot of shit that you can fuck up barbecue with if you don't eat it right, you know what I mean? It's like coffee. If I'm going to judge a coffee place on their coffee, I'm going to get a cup of hot black coffee. And I get it black because that's how you taste the coffee in the coffee. After that, if you want to add whatever fucking bullshit you add to it, sugar in the raw because I'm healthy. No, you're not. Then you do that. But to judge the base, you know what I mean? You got to have a control group. Is that the right term? Control group? Or I don't know the scientific term. I'm not a smart guy. I don't know. Anyway, Nashville was dope. I'm probably going to go back there in January and try to stay another day. And just maybe see a little bit more. But a lot of fun. Then I took I took a Greyhound bus to Chattanooga. Most wild bus driver that I think I've had in quite some time. I put it up on my story. I videotaped myself listening to this guy. The dude kicks off the ride with this 5-minute speech that I still don't know if it was prepared or not. He just seemed like he was riffing up there, holding court for the bus, just laying down the rules, and also just, alluding to some horror stories that probably happened on the Greyhound bus. Dude, he had a 2-minute rant on the toilet paper in the bathroom. Like, he just kept going off about how you should not shit in the bathroom. Even though there's a toilet and toilet paper, he's like, I promise you, he's like, that toilet paper is not for what you think it is. Because if you try to go number 2 and use the toilet paper, it will give up the ghost. It will forsake you, and you will have poop on your hands. Dude, when he said it will forsake you, I fucking lost it in my seat. I was sitting next to this Mexican guy who didn't understand English, but I think he somehow knew what the guy said and understood it because he was laughing too. Or maybe he was just laughing because I was laughing and he didn't understand why. I don't know. But it was, dude, it was so funny. He had this whole thing on like how he's not going to be a parent to anybody. So he just like laid down the rules, and I'll give you one chance, and then you got to get the fuck off the bus. Like, no playing music out loud. Don't talk on the phone, too loud. Don't shit on the butt. There was like so many rules. And then he closed it on like a very nice, heartwarming speech. He was like, we're all citizens of this big blue planet. And as a citizen of this big blue planet, the only rent that we are charged is that we be kind to one another. Dude, that's like some shit that would like come out of Abraham Lincoln or something, That would be, you ever like read a book about something like that, and then the chapter starts with like a quote from somebody, or that's like the beginning of the foreword. As citizens of this great blue planet, the only rent that we are charged... The phrase, the only rent that we are charged, that's like a very old-timey, like Frederick Douglass type fucking quote. And this dude was just pulling it out at the front of the Greyhound bus. Like, that's profound, dude. Like, this guy has wisdom. He's seen some shit and has learned from it, and he's still rocking the Greyhound. I love it. It was great. He was a good communicator, and he laid out the ground rules. Here's what's going on. We're going to stop at this rest stop. Right now, it's 11:45. You got till 12. That's what you got. At 12 o'clock, I'm going to get on this bus, and I'm going to leave. And then a few minutes before, I'm going to walk around through the McDonald's and the Subway or the whatever, and I'm going to say the bus is leaving. And then it's on you. And, of course, like I'm like always early for everything, so I'm on the bus already. And then the bus driver gets on the bus, and the dude, the Mexican dude who doesn't speak English, is not on the bus. And his backpack is in the seat, and he's not on the bus. And the guy starts the bus, and I think I'm a bad person because I wasn't going to say anything. I don't know why. I didn't want to be the guy, like, because now I'm, like, if I say something, the guy said the rules. So the rules are the rules. Everybody knows that there's a possibility you get left behind. You know what I mean? But maybe he didn't understand it. I don't know. But I also don't want to be the guy who, like, in a way, I'm like snitching on the on-time departure. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to fuck up the ride for everybody else because now we got to go find this dude who just is like somewhere, doing blow in the subway bathroom. I don't know where he was. But a woman behind me, who's also Mexican, she was like, I guess she knew him. She was just like pointing to the seat and like put her hands like this. And I was like, I just cucked so hard. I was so fake. I'm like, I don't know. I was wondering the same thing. I don't know where he is. I've been looking out the window. Like, clearly not. Like, I saw he wasn't in his seat, and I just like put my headphones on and like kind of nodded off so I could have plausible deniability. But then the dude, eventually he ran out and knocked on the bus door, and he had like a bag full of McDonald's shit. So I think he was, he was waiting for those hash browns or whatever the fuck he was waiting for. I don't know. Oh my God. And then the guy in front of me, I've never met somebody like this in my life. Like, I chose the wrong... I got on the bus, and it's a Greyhound, so it goes all over the country, It just makes stops in each place. And the dude is way too chatty with the bus driver. Like, they have a rapport. They know each other. This dude has spent some time on this bus. You could just tell his hair was, like, greasy as fuck. His clothes were, like, ratted... like ratty, holes in them and shit, but not in a way where you're like, you're homeless. It was just like you don't have a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't homeless, but he for sure was poor. And I'm not like, my judgment was also correct because he later talked about how he doesn't have like, he was literally, when we stopped at McDonald's, he was like, oh man, 70 more cents and I could have got the large fry or some shit like that, where I was like, bro, this dude is pinching pennies on the Greyhound. You know what I mean? But also, so he's like just talking up a storm, which, whatever, I got noise canceling headphones, I can put those in. But then he's like sneezing a bunch. I felt bad for the dude sitting next to him. He's just sneezing all over the place. He's like, oh, my sinuses, they're all fucking, they're acting up, right? Then, and this shows you who I really am. He leans back and he looks at me and he goes, hey man, do you mind if I use your phone to call my sister? My phone got turned off. Not my phone like died, like it ran out of battery. The thing was on. Like his service was shut off, probably due to non-payment. And of course I wanted to say no. Of course I wanted to say no, but for some reason I feel like I needed to have a reason to give him that wasn't just, hey, I think you're gross. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't bring myself to look at him and be like, no, I don't really want you touching my phone. I don't know why I couldn't do it. So I was like, yeah, sure. Here, take my phone. So he dials his sister. This is how he greets. He goes, what's up, ugly? That's how he greets his sister. And then he's like, yeah, I'm on the Greyhound bus, blah, 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 blah. Came from Pennsylvania. Like, he's trying to make his way down to, like, Tallahassee or some shit. But he's been here since PA. Like, he's been here for a minute on this bus. And, yeah, so he calls her to tell her that when they were in Indiana, when the bus pulled over, he was calling her to tell her how close to Lucas Oil Stadium he was. That's where the Indianapolis Colts play. And he was like so jacked up about how close he was to the stadium. Like he called his sister to tell her that. And then he was like kept going on about something in that phone call end. And then he turns back to me and he goes, hey man, you mind if I call my mom? She's probably up by now. Fine. At this point, you know what I mean? Like you already got the phone. And then he calls up his mom. Morning, ugly. Says the same thing. Calls his mom ugly. And then tells her the same fucking story about Lucas Oil. Just like, you're not going to, like, literally, if the door opened at the Greyhound bus, we were, like, in the parking lot. We were right there. And I'm like, is your mom enjoying the story? Like, is she all gung-ho about the Colts, too? And then he's like, is Dad there? I want to talk to Dad. Same shit. What's up, ugly? And then the fucking Colts, this dude called his whole family on a stranger's phone to tell him that he got close to the Indianapolis Colts stadium. Like, bananas. I feel like if I called anyone in my family and told them a story like that, like we were right by Giant Stadium, they'd be like, why are you calling me? Why are you bothering me with this? This is not a story. This is not good. Yeah. Eventually he hangs up and yeah, he gives me my phone back. Luckily I had 2 of those like airplane disinfectant wipes and I just hit my whole phone with it, hit my hands with it. So it was probably actually cleaner than when I originally gave it to him. I probably could have wiped it down before then, but yeah, it was just like, it was fucking bananas. And then later on in the trip, he asked the lady who was across the aisle from me if he could use her phone. And as soon as I saw him turn back, I started to fake a phone call. Like, dude, I fake phone calls all the time. And I'm kind of good at it. And I do it, you know, because I feel like somebody's going to want to talk to me. And so I'll go right into mid-conversation just so that I'll be like, yeah, well, you know, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, we could see. It really just depends on what time that everybody gets there, you know? Because, because she said she's not coming till it. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. We'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. That's a lot. I say that a lot in the fake phone calls. Yeah, we'll just have to see. And I'll really string it along. I'll leave space for them to respond. And I'm like having their conversation, their side of the conversation up in my head. And then when that's done, I'm talking to myself. Like I get that. That's what happens with homeless people. They're just having a conversation with themselves. I do it too, but to avoid homeless people, I use their own fucking methodology against them. I use their own witchcraft of the fake phone call. And that's what I had to do for this fucking bus dude, because he asked her, I feel like he asked her for if he could borrow the phone because he just asked me, but I felt like if she would have said no, which she did, she was like, but she didn't just say no, she had an excuse. She was like, my SIM card is SIM card? Who the fuck is dealing with a SIM card? So she fucking shot him down, and I was like, oh, for sure he's coming back to me. He's definitely coming back to me. So that's when I launched into the, we'll just have to see phone call. And it was probably obvious. Like, it wasn't my best fake phone call because I didn't even have like a greeting. I was not talking at all for like 10 straight minutes. And then I just jumped right into, well, that's true. But honestly, like, I don't mean to judge this guy. He seemed nice, but like, he probably didn't tell. He couldn't tell. He's like, I guess he's having a fake phone call. Or a phone call, rather, not a fake phone call. But yeah, wild fucking bus ride. But now down in Chattanooga, we had the show at the Bode Hotel last night. It's put together by my buddy Jeff Greenspan, whose apartment, that's where I am right now. That's why there's no, it looks like I'm in just like somebody's guest room. It's because I am. And he's probably, I don't know, he's probably just standing in the shower screaming. That's what he said he does when he gets headaches. Not the screaming part, I added that, but he does stand in a hot shower. So he's probably been doing that for the last half hour. So I was like, let's fucking knock out the pod. I wanted to do it when Teddy B, other half of Yarbar, I wanted to do it when Bar was here, but he didn't want to do a pod because he's dumb. That's why. You hear that, Ted? You're not listening to this, but if you do, if you know Ted Barton or if you follow him, message him for me and say he's dumb for not doing the podcast. So, he's like, what are we going to talk about? I'm like, I don't know. We'll call each other up and we'll have an impromptu conversation for 45 minutes. I'm like, you don't start the conversation and be like, what are we going to talk about? He's just afraid to get on the air. That's what it is. He's afraid to go live and have it broadcasted out to fucking 20 people, I'm like, it's not a huge operation that we're running here, kid. You can have some fun on here. It'll be fun. But yeah, anyway, had the show last night. Went really well. There's probably like 60 people there. I started kind of slow. There was I went girls, chicks, women. That's what they were. They were women. They were up front and they were fucking sloshed. I mean, they were half in the bag, fully in the bag, just drunk, responding. Like they had a line, they had a word for every. Yep, that's right. Oh my God, so true. Like those are the worst type of hecklers where they're having a good time and they're just like still trying to make it about them and they don't realize it because they're so fucking drunk and you want to comment on it, but you're the only one that really hears it. But the people in the back can't hear it. So if you just blow up on these people, they're like, well, that guy's an asshole. It's like, no, they've been ruining the whole fucking show. But, I felt like I dealt with it okay. Yeah. Set kind of started slow, but then I got him back. I got him back by the end. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Had a couple brewskis. But yeah, it was fun. So now we're just fucking chilling tonight. There's like some party for comedians down here. So there's probably going to be like 5 people there. I don't know how many comedians live in this town. I didn't think that comedians got together unless they were doing an open mic, But apparently there's something at a bar. Maybe that's the thing they do outside of New York, is they actually get together and enjoy each other's company. We don't do that in New York. All we do is comedy. So I'm going to go to that tonight. And then tomorrow we're doing like a little impromptu drive to Atlanta to do comedy down there in some facet. I don't really know. I forget the name of the place. Some place in Atlanta. I don't know. But didn't have anything going on here. And I'm here till Tuesday, dude. I got nothing to do. I booked it because I was going to maybe do a show in Nashville again on Monday, but that's the show that I thought was going to happen is not happening, so I just got fucking time to kill. But, and then I go home on Tuesday. So I'd probably just be sitting on my hands anyway in New York, and I was going to change my flight to go to Maryland early, but didn't want to do it because it would have cost more money to fly on the weekend for some weird reason. So, and also I just hate changing a flight because then you get a new confirmation email, and then of course I'm trying to pull up the old confirmation email and the fucking dates are wrong, and it's a whole goddamn thing. So, what are you going to do? But anywho, man, yeah, it's been a fun trip. It's good to be out of fucking New York a little bit. Just the people down here, I want to get some boots, but I'm not going to. I'm just not going to do it. Yeah, and then we got the fucking holidays coming right on the corner. I mean, what's the date? It's the 20. Oh, no. Jesus Christ. It's the 17th. No. So, and then I go home Tuesday. So I guess when's Christmas? Christmas on a Sunday? Should I know this? I don't know. Maybe we have a Christmas episode. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll still be in Chattanooga when this comes out. If you have never been down here, I suggest coming down here. They do a really cool, if you're into like kind of country, folky, alternative type of music, they do a really cool festival in the fall called Moon River. That was the first time I ever came down here. Also, when I got into a major accident on the highway, so that was fun. Driving down, car stopped in front of me. I swerved out of the way, and then an 18-wheeler hit us. So that was a good old time. Was I having flashbacks and PTSD the whole weekend? Yes. Did it ruin the trip? Almost. But, that's why you don't take a fucking 14-hour drive from Maryland to Tennessee, because you think it'd be cool to do a road trip. No, just fucking fly down. How about you do that? But yeah, good times. Yeah, no, I don't really have nothing really else booked for the rest of the year because I'm going to be in Maryland, and then I come back the last week of December, and there's nothing really going on. And we don't have another Yarbar show until the 4th, I believe is the date. Yeah, the 4th of January, and that's going to be a hot one to come to because we're going to really try to, coming back, it's the first one of the new year, we're going to really try to blow it out. We're experimenting. We might even cut the show down to once a month because the show is kind of a lot to deal with and to schedule and the whole thing, and it's not exactly serving the same purpose that it once was. And it's a lot to fucking book a show and to try to get folks there. So we might cut it down to one show a week, one show a month, and just try to have like a banger blowout show. Because ultimately, this is way too much inside baseball, but like, it's nice to have your own show because there is like some sort of currency with that. You could do people a solid and we like putting people like our friends and people we think are funny on a really good show, and so we could still do that. It would just be a once a month thing, but the shows would be like killer. We'd have like really fucking good people on it, and I'd rather have one show a month that's like sold out every time than once every 2 weeks that is like sometimes sold out, sometimes it's half, So that's the idea. But anywho, folks, yeah, things are going well down here. Shows are well. So yeah, nothing for you guys to check out or come down to. But just like always, thanks for listening. The next pod I'll be in Maryland. So look forward to that. Thank you again for listening, and peace out.